This podcast is part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network, hosted by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out everything related to Batman and the entire Bat family at the BatmanUniverse.net, including news and original content related to comics, movies, television, merchandise, video games, and more. Also, check out some of the other unique podcasts that TBU has to offer. Consider supporting this podcast by becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 can go a long way in supporting this content that you enjoy. Look for a link over at the BatmanUniverse.net to offer your support now. And now, on with the show. Scarecrows frightened of a clown that's laughing, boys. I am a Bat-Fan. I am a Bat-Fan. Shine that signal, come out to play. I am a Bat-Fan. I am a Bat-Fan. Bring it on, Batman. Jump out your cave. 'Cause I am a Bat-Fan. I am a Bat-Fan. Shine that signal, come out and play. I am a Bat-Fan. I am a Bat-Fan. Bring it on, Batman. Jump out your cave. Jump out your cave.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 229 of at Tim G311. I am at Tim G311, and joining me, as always, is at Dane Says Banana. I'm doing a different thing at the beginning.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to do. Well, Tim, I finally saw Shang-Chi.
Yes, you did. You let me know you were going to watch it, and I was like, I can't wait to hear his thoughts on it.
I thought it was really, really, really good. Just a few questions, Tim.
Okay.
Just a few questions. Okay, are you ready?
I am
Are you
already.
in the-
Hopefully I can answer them.
Okay. So, Shang-Chi is the Mandarin's son, but the Mandarin isn't that actor guy,
Mhm.
and he is not Guy Pearce, right?
No.
He
So-
is Shang-Chi's dad, right?
Yes. The real Mandarin, who's not even really the Mandarin, because as you saw in the movie, he jokes about them calling the leader of the Mandarin using
Yeah.
his organization, the Ten Rings, but naming their leader the Mandarin. Yeah, that was something he ever had or called himself. So yeah.
I see. And so,
But you're right. I forget because everyone knows that Ben Kingsley's character, Trevor Slattery, is the fake Mandarin, the actor, and all that. But then at the very end of Iron Man 3, Guy Pearce's character yells out, "I am the Mandarin," to make it like, oh, he's the real Mandarin. But then I really think it's the fan backlash that Marvel decided to do a little bit of retcon here as far as having the leader of the Ten Rings, the actual Mandarin, appear in the MCU and kind of establish that what they did was nothing a part of what the real Ten Rings organization was, and how they just kind of took it and did their own thing. So a little bit of, I guess, damage control with the bad reception, or I should say mixed reception that reveal got in Iron Man 3, because I know a lot of fans weren't happy about it, even though there's a good portion of them were, because at the same time, I can't imagine there's a whole legion of like old school Mandarin fans who were just super upset about that. But I guess it's just one of those things to get upset about when that movie came out.
okay. So, question number 2. Shang-Chi is being raised by his dad, right? After his mom dies, or gets beaten up and dies. But then he has a change of heart or something. And then he goes and he comes to America, right? And he moves to San Francisco. What did he do that made him not want to do that anymore?
Well, that was kind of like one of the big reveals in the movie where where his dad sends him off on his first mission to kill the man responsible for killing his mother. And if you
Right.
remember in the beginning when he's talking to his friend, how he says his father sent him on a mission, but he told her, I didn't go through with it. He just left. But later
Yeah.
we learned that he actually did go through with it. He did kill the man who killed his mother. And I think he felt ashamed of that and how his mother would hate that he actually did that and then didn't want, that's what set off him wanting to leave his father and the 10 rings and all that, just get away from doing that, just because of I think the guilt he felt of actually killing someone for the first time.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that the big reveal was it was going to be Katie's grandpa. Because you remember in the beginning, it's like, oh, they go over to her house, and then her grandmother is like oh, that's so and so's share.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was going to be Katie's grandpa.
So you're thinking like
Yes.
way far ahead when that early scene happened.
Yeah.
Trying to
Like,
figure out the
okay,
big
that
reveals
has,
early on.
yeah, I was like, that has something to do with the story, and they're just not revealing it right now.
Speaking of something like that, real quick, let me ask you, Dan, because I know we're talking about this on the last episode, how you were watching Black Widow. You haven't finished it yet. Did you finish Black Widow?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so
I could
I was going to
not
see
get
if
through that.
you saw who.
I just can't get through it. I can't get through it, Tim. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the character is already dead, you know.
Maybe, but
And it's like, who cares? Who cares at this point? I mean,
it's still a good story.
unless you're, a diehard MCU fan or Black Widow fan or Scarlett Johansson fan or whatever. But yeah, that one is really hard to get through for me.
So I guess you're never going to find out the reveal of Taskmaster then in Black
I
Widow.
am, Tim. I am. It's just gonna take a while.
Okay, so back to Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Oh wait, what was I saying? I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say if there was any other questions you had on it.
Oh, um, oh. My one point of criticism is that the first fight scene between, or uh, they're sort of it's like that love fight
Uh,
scene when Shang-Chi's mom meets Shang-Chi's dad.
yeah.
That one sort of like that one really looked awful.
Really? You
That's
think so? I thought
yeah,
it looked beautiful. Like, beautiful. Like,
like when they're longingly looking in each other's eyes in slow motion.
well, that's that
Okay,
little, you want to call it a little campy, like love type scene, like section in a movie where the two characters are falling for each other. I get that it could come off as a little campy, but it's like buy it into
yeah.
it.
I was like, okay, let's get through this. It's just like a scene too long of them looking at each other, looking longingly at each other while they're both fighting. It's love fighting or falling in love fighting, I guess you could call it. I really like the end with that dragon
Yeah,
and
that's
that other thing. That was super, super cool. Um, okay, so I guess my final question would be, so Benedict Wong's character, his name
Hmm.
is Dormammu?
No, his
Is
name
that
is Wong.
Dormammu?
Benedict
No, his
Wong
name is
plays
Wong.
Wong. Yeah.
Oh, wow. They couldn't give him another name.
That's the character from the comics' name. So.
Oh, that's his actual name in the
Yeah.
comics. Okay. Okay,
Well, they
so
changed
Benedict
it in the
Wong.
comics. So I hardly read any Doctor Strange comics, but I believe like that was his butler's name or like his like servant's name at the time. But they totally changed the
Uh,
character for the better in the movie.
yeah, can't have a servant. Um, okay, so wait, so who's Dormammu then? Is that bald lady in
No,
Doctor?
Dormammu was the main villain in Doctor Strange, the one who was in the dark dimension they were trying to prevent from coming to their reality or to their dimension. So, did you ever see Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I barely recall it. All I remember is Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, And the bald teacher.
Yeah,
Lady.
the ancient one. Remember, it's at the
Yeah.
very end. Remember, Doctor Strange creates that time loop where he keeps dying and he keeps coming back. He's facing Dormammu's there. It's basically just a face.
No, not really. I barely remember that movie.
I'm surprised you remember the name Dormammu's there.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember. It's probably because Benedict Cumberbatch has such a thick uh, English accent, British accent, that it's
Stood out
like
to you.
I remember. It's like, why don't they just make him British? Like, we all know Benedict Cumberbatch is British. Why not just make him British instead of him trying to like flatten out that British accent and he sounds robotic? No,
But I think he actually
I don't know.
lays it on a little more thick on the animated series, the What If series, where he
Yeah,
does the voice of Doctor Strange. In the first episode he was in, to me, I didn't even realize that was Benedict Cumberbatch because he sounded different. I was like, oh, wow, that's him. Like he's really trying to lay on that English accent even more, I think, doing the voiceover for the animated series.
yeah. Just make him British. Just make him British, and then he can use his normal voice. We all know Benedict Cumberbatch. We all know he's British, right? I mean, why not?
And just make Doctor Strange British. I mean,
Yeah, it's not
is
that
that
big of a
really going to be a
deal.
big change for the character? I don't think so.
Or you know what? How about, yeah, I am an American, right? But I spent most of my childhood in England, and just enough to pick up the accent. And yeah, I moved back to the United States. I moved back to where Doctor Strange is from. But I just had the accent because that's where I grew up, right? So sort of like the Nolan brothers, right? So like one has the British accent, and the
That's
other
right.
has
Yeah.
like that Chicago accent.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you can do it, right?
Problem solved.
Yeah.
See,
Um,
another thing Dane creates for the MCU.
yeah. But anyway, sorry. Back on to Shang-Chi. So how does Wong play into all of this? Is he like is he supposed to? I mean, is his part going to be in the next movie or something?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he usually seems like he's kind of popping up as far as because technically Doctor Strange obviously he's still the Sorcerer Supreme, so he has information and access to the different dimensions and what's going on in different points of the world to keep an eye on their reality. But I guess Wong takes a part of that too, and once he realizes like the energy felt from the Ten Rings being used in battle by Shang-Chi, he was I don't know, like Doctor Strange told him to get him, or Wong took upon himself to get him, but he looks to be involved in the events that are happening in the Marvel universe. Like he's always, lately anyway, seems to be involved with certain things that are going on. It looks like that's going to continue as they investigate the origins of where the Ten Rings come from. So I totally expect him to be involved whatever either Shang-Chi sequel or whatever the next movie is going to be where Shang-Chi shows up. I imagine Wong will be there too.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was assuming it was. Sort of setting up the next movie, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
Um,
Yeah. That end credit scene definitely did. But I'm
well,
glad you really like the end sequence with the dragon because I loved it. I just loved how it just goes full blown like fantasy on there. You got these big giant monsters, the dragon. It looked great too. It just when I saw that, it blew me away. I was like, oh man, I was not expecting the movie to go in this direction, but I thought it went in there pretty smoothly because it's pretty much almost two separate movies in the beginning is that kind of kung fu martial arts style action movie, and then in the second half it's like fantasy martial arts movies and it's bringing all these different crazy elements with the dragons and those soul suckers creatures coming out. But I thought it fit nicely with the progression of the story and how it moved along. So I just loved that whole aspect, and it looked great too. Like I said, it just looked really cool seeing that dragon on screen and Shang-Chi and his sister riding it and taking it down with the Ten Rings. It was all really, really well done. So when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I love this movie.
yeah, and that was my next point of like why I like the movie, because in the beginning it's like a kung fu movie, and I can't remember his sorry, Simu Liu, is that his name?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, he looked really good doing the kung fu stuff, and then the second half of the movie is like this fantasy sort of like we're going into this alternate dimension thing,
Mm.
and then yeah, there's a big demon thing. Yeah, of course we need a big dragon, and of course Shang-Chi is gonna ride that dragon. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought Marvel did a really good job. Um, I guess with the next phase of movies or whatever. I still haven't seen Eternals yet, but
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see what you think of that one because I'll just my impression, like I said in the last episode, I think you're really gonna like that one, just how different it feels from other MCU movies. I mean, it's totally different from Shang-Chi, and you really like
yeah,
that one. So, um, yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think of that one. Yeah, I'd say it'll probably be on Disney Plus around January, something like that, because Shang-Chi was out in 2 months.
yeah, no, that was really fast
Yeah.
that it hit Disney Plus, but
I also like the new.
yeah, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick from a technical aspect, I do like how Disney Plus has that new IMAX enhanced feature on there to give you that IMAX aspect ratio for the more recent Marvel movies.
Yeah, yeah, right. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. The acting was really good. Besides that first scene where it was like that love fight thing, I thought the action scenes were really good, especially the end and with the dragons and stuff. I didn't know that the 10 rings were literal 10 rings that you wear on your arm or your wrists.
Yeah, I
I
believe in the comics they are actual rings that you wear on your fingers, though. I think they just
oh
made them a
the
little
ring.
different.
Oh, so like to do a punch with the rings, you like the rings fly off your fingers.
See, I don't know if they did that in the comics or they just had like magical properties where you could do like energy beams or certain things like that with the 10 rings, but I think they took some liberties and changed certain things with how they worked in the movie.
Yeah.
I
Also,
guess plus
that
too, I think they want to make it different than the Infinity Stones because you get kind of like these small objects that you could do certain
oh
like
yeah.
things with it. So I guess to make it a little different than that, they wanted to change it up, which is fine. I thought it worked.
Also, that Doctor Strange circle thing, that circle portal, whatever
But
you
yeah,
call it,
the sling rings.
that portal thing is really cool. That's all.
Oh yeah,
I like how it's like sparking.
it comes in handy a lot.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we need to go to New York and we're in China. No, let's just do the circle.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I really liked it. I probably give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm definitely glad to hear that.
Yeah, probably because also it's not weighed down by we have to like somehow work in Captain America into this.
Yeah,
Um,
it was really
maybe
its own thing until the post credits scene, which is totally fine.
yeah. That 10 rings thing. That his sister is going to continue it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's probably why I liked it too, is because it's not weighed down by you know, like I said, we gotta fit Captain America, we gotta fit Iron Man into it. Somehow Spider Man has to come from New York to China on a field trip, a class field trip, something. Um, so yeah, it's probably because of that too, and it's sort of like its own thing, its own isolated thing, and it's just really, if you really think about it, it's just about these two characters, right?
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and Katie, really. So yeah, that's also probably why I really liked it.
Cool. Yeah. I think that's kind of Eternals is the same way, where it's its own thing too, with just very few references to the wider Marvel universe. So that's what
Yeah,
also makes me believe you'll enjoy that one. But
yeah, and like I don't know, I feel like Marvel has to like tone it down with all of the sort of like what I've been complaining about with the Marvel movies, where you gotta like watch the fifth, the ninth, and also the fourth movie to understand the 11th movie. But to understand the 11th movie, you have to go back and you have to read the comic book tie-in for the first movie, right?
No, they never
It's
do
like,
comic book
okay,
tie-ins. At least none that actually
yeah,
matter. So they haven't done
yeah,
that.
but yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
but like,
pretty
I
soon
don't
you can
have
start saying
time.
TV shows now. That's what you could reference.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't really have the time, and I don't really care. So like, can you just make a movie that stands on its own, where I don't have to go back, or like a general story point? Like I'll kill for just a general story point that is, you know, like a known thing that you don't have to go back, right? Like, oh, okay, so Iron Man is dead right now. Um, he sacrificed himself with the snap thing and made the world okay. Okay, so we have that. We all understand that, but like, you don't have to tie things to that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And uh, yeah, like I just wish there was like a few general story points, easy to understand story points. Because like, you know, I mean, even with the shows, they sort of lose me. Which is why I really I know everybody is raving about it. I know everybody loved it. But that's one of the main reasons I didn't care about the Vision um, show.
WandaVision. Yeah.
Yeah, WandaVision show or the Loki show. It's just because like I had no idea what they're referencing. You know,
That's why I'm here, Dane, to fill in those gaps.
it's like watching Game of Thrones and coming in the third season, or the the red wedding scene,
All right.
right? It's like all you see is that. It's like, who are these characters that are dying? Am I supposed to
Probably wouldn't have the
know
same
them?
impact on you. Yeah.
Am I supposed to know them, or are these the bad guys? you know.
Yeah. All these
So yeah,
characters are dying off. They must be the bad guy.
yeah. I still haven't gotten over that.
But no,
Uh,
I totally get that. But I think at the same time, with Phase 4, trying to introduce this new era of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, now that there's no more Iron Man, Steve Rogers is Captain America, Black Widow. So they got to introduce these new characters. And with doing that, you kind of have to tell their own stories and just kind of introduce them into the universe and not bring the universe to them, so to speak. Like, take their stories into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and make sure you get them off the ground running first. But at the same time, as someone who just loves the stuff, I do appreciate, and someone who's fully invested in it from the beginning appreciates when they do have those references from 10 movies back, and you watch the shows and you see it referenced in the movies or vice versa. So there is certain things I love about that once if you're a full-time investor in the MCU like I am. So I do appreciate when they do that, but can understand how sometimes that can make it difficult for newcomers to get invested in a new TV show or movie, so to speak. But so far with the uh, most recent Phase 4 movies, Shang-Chi and Eternals, I think are doing a good job as far as telling these original stories on its own, so they can get people introduced into these new characters and stories without having to know the entire MCU history. So I think they're 2 for 2 for that with Shang-Chi and the Eternals so far.
yeah, definitely with Shang-Chi. I uh, I was surprised. I really liked it. To be honest, because I thought I thought they were going to do the thing where it's like, okay, so we got to set up 9 movies with one movie. So here we go. but yeah, I liked how it was a more personal movie. It was less of like Captain America: Civil War, where it's like, why don't we just make a Captain America movie instead of Civil War? But um, yeah, I uh, I I really enjoyed it.
Cool. And since we're on the topic of the MCU, we're going to talk about this anyway, but I might as well bring it up now. The latest trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home that just came out earlier this week. And it's funny, everyone was chomping at the bit for a trailer and the new trailer. And I was just thinking, the first one came out not too long ago. So it's like, hasn't been that long of a gap, but I think just because we're getting so close to the release date of the movie, we knew there'd be another one coming. So, because what movie just has one trailer? So we finally got one, and then, of course, the big question going into it: are they going to reveal the big surprise that we know is coming in this movie, but hasn't been officially announced, and actors are denying it, so to speak? So, the trailer didn't have that, and I'm kind of glad for that actually, because let's just save it for the movie because we know what's happening, especially after this trailer. How can it not happen? I mean, come on. But I really do. I did like this trailer a lot, and I same thing with the first trailer. First trailer was great as far as getting you excited about the concept. We saw them bringing back Doctor Octopus, and just a great tease for what's to come. And this trailer just expanded on that more without revealing the big surprises that I was talking about earlier, but just getting you more excited for the movie because what the trailer did is just kind of showing this is going full blown multiverse with the villains, and they weren't hiding the villains in this one. This is like the full villain reveal trailer, I guess, for Spider-Man No Way Home. Because, like I said, we got Doctor Octopus first, but now instead of just seeing the pumpkin bomb and hearing the laugh of the Green Goblin, we saw the Green Goblin back in full force, Power Rangers costume and all. I was wondering if they were going to change it at all for the movie for this one, and it looks like they might because there is another shot of a goblin on the glider, and it's definitely a different costume. And it looks like he kind of has a purple hood or a hoodie at least on the back of his head, resembling that comic book look. But I don't know if that's still Norman Osborn, if it's Harry Osborn. I don't know. We'll find out. But looks like we're gonna be two different goblin looks in this movie. But that original cheesy Power Ranger style one is back, and part of me is like, you know what? I gotta give them props. Everyone knows it's not the best costume, but they're just going with it still. It's from the first movie. They're taking things from the movie, so let's take everything that came with it, even if it was a little cheesy. So Green Goblin's back, Electro's back, Jamie Foxx, who does look different. He's like the only one who's getting a makeover in this movie, but he looks a lot better. He's no longer blue. He has the classic yellow electricity that Electro had, and even that yellow electricity mask that Electro had in the comics. They did a cool way of incorporating it in here, where he just using the actual energy of the electricity to like, form that style
Hey
and
Tim,
shape of his
can I
mask.
interrupt you really quick? That one looked Jamie Foxx in Amazing Spider-Man 3, 2. Sorry,
Too, yeah. Never got a third one.
I got a third one because the second one was the problem. He looked so awful.
It's pretty much a
That's what
flocky popsicle, really.
Yeah, no. That's one of the only things I remember from that movie. Besides Paul Giamatti.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say his Rhino wasn't great either in both performance and costume.
Yeah. I hope they don't kill Zendaya.
I
I
don't
really
think
hope they
so.
don't kill her. Yeah.
You want to hear my
Because I don't know.
prediction? And
Yeah.
I'm not the only one who's thought this. I've seen this going along on Twitter about this shot too. I think this is going to be one of the entry points for one of the other Spider-Man. I think, and a lot of people are saying this too. This might be where we see Andrew Garfield come in. He couldn't save Gwen Stacy, but he's going to save Mary Jane here for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Maybe he can't do it, but then Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man swoops in and saves the day.
I see.
And people are even, I saw, because man, people are examining this trailer to death to see where there could be hints of Toby Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And one of them was like really examining it and zooming in on the glove or the hand reaching out to Mary Jane and saying that, oh, I shouldn't say Mary Jane, MJ is what she is in the MCU since her name is Michelle. It said like, oh, the glove in the hand, that's like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man costume. You could just tell right there. They're just doing different editing in the trailer to throw you off. And then there's this infamous moment from not this trailer, but like the Brazilian trailer that was a little different. In the shot in the trailer where pretty much all the villains are jumping out, and you see Lizard's like face get pushed back like he's getting punched, but there's nothing punching him. He's just getting punched by nothing. And people are thinking, oh, they edited out like a different Spider-Man there just so people won't see it. So yeah, I mean, people are looking way too much into it, but at the same time, I think they're probably right too, because we've seen it before in trailers where they take certain characters out, not to ruin the surprise. But either way,
it's weird how they didn't just release one trailer. You know, it's like the Brazilian trailer is like has like an additional scene, I guess.
Yeah, that happens all the time. There's the international trailer that has a few shots here or there for movies.
Mm.
I know it happened with Star Wars all the time. For every movie, there's an international one that had an extra shot or two there.
So which one is the original trailer then, so that people can complain about it? Like, oh no, but you have to release the original trailer. I don't want this new trailer, Tim. This Brazilian trailer. I want the original 1977 trailer.
There's so many now. It's probably lose count. International trailers and
Yeah.
specific region trailers, TV spots. It's hard to keep track.
You know, with this new Spider-Man movie, I just don't know if bigger is better. You know,
Mhm.
my one criticism of the second movie is that they sort of took Spider-Man out of New York, right?
Mhm.
And you know, they put him somewhere in what seemed like Eastern Europe, um, and yeah, I just wish they would get back to New York and tell a Spider-Man New York story like they did in that first one. You know?
Well, they're definitely back in New York in this one because it looks like the final big battle is going to take place near the Statue of Liberty, which is being
Yeah.
redecorated with the Captain America shield on there, which is a
Uh,
nice touch.
um, but
Uh,
yeah, I just wish they would just tell it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I think you're going to get that, especially in the beginning, because obviously he's in New York when his identity gets revealed, and he's going to have to kind of make his way through that mob and everyone who's going to be after him for a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like how too. Again, this trailer is really focused on the villains, Sandman, Lizard. They're back, and then just kind of how Doctor Strange. You hear him say in the trailer how most of these. He says all of them are villains that died fighting Spider-Man, Doctor Octopus, Green Goblin, but that wasn't true with Electro or Sandman or even Lizard. They all survived in their movies. So I'm wondering if he's just saying that specifically about Doctor Octopus and Green Goblin, and then later on the other villains show up. But looks like part of the crux of what Peter's going to do is he doesn't want to kill these villains. He wants to try to help either send them back to their own universe, which is why I think he tries to steal that box that Doctor Strange is carrying to not necessarily kill them, but to get them back to their own universes. And Doctor Strange is, nope, this is their fate. Like, we got to put a stop to this right here. And if that means killing them, then that's what has to be done. But it doesn't look like Peter Parker is going to want to go through with that, which is a total Spider-Man thing to do, not wanting to kill anyone. So if that is kind of a theme that plays out when all these villains come together, I think that's going to be cool to see. It's at least a good motivation for Spider-Man to have throughout the movie. Then also too, another thing I really liked is we only got a few shots of it, but that new black costume that he has looks really cool on screen. It's kind of leaked out with toy images a few months ago, but when you see it on screen, it looks really cool. There's that one shot where you see him kind of like this energy comes out, like this Doctor Strange symbol, magic symbol comes out of his hand. Because I believe it's something that Doctor Strange gives him. I think it's some type of magic suit, but it looks awesome. I can't wait to see it. It's still no black symbiote Spider-Man suit, but this one, I'll go ahead and take it as a little consolation for not having that in a movie yet. So yeah, I think it looks great. I cannot wait. It's going to be just, I think, a big celebration of Spider-Man and his movies from going all the way back from the beginning, which is almost 20 years old now. And I think it's going to be great just seeing it, all this stuff play out on screen, especially if we get the other two Spider-Men back. Like, again, it's been the worst kept secret in the world, but I think it's not going to lose its impact, even if we're expecting it to happen. Seeing that on screen is going to be amazing. And yes, I'm glad they're saving it for the actual movie. We're just under a month away now, so hopefully this is the last trailer. I doubt it. There'll probably be another international trailer or more TV spots, but I personally don't want to see any more for it because I just want to save it all for when I see it for the first time, and I cannot wait. I think it looks great.
What are the chances that not only is Tobey Maguire and then Andrew Garfield going to show up, but also the animated series Spider-Man? He's going to show up and do the meme thing.
You know what? I think they're gonna do the meme thing with the three of them if they're all in it. I mean, how can they not?
Yeah.
Like maybe when they first meet, especially with the type of humor the MCU likes to have, I think that
Yeah.
they can't resist to do it. The one thing I didn't really like in the trailer was them kind of making fun of the name Doctor Octopus. It's like a joke we've kind of heard before. It's like, or not Doctor Octopus, the name Otto Octavius. And yeah, it's kind of ridiculous when you say it, but we're so used to it now. I don't think there's really a point to call attention to the name anymore. Especially the diehard fans, we know Doctor Octopus and his real name. Like, no need to take a jab at that, but because it didn't come off as really funny in the trailer. So, if I had one nitpick, it was that attempt of humor right there, at the expense of Otto Octavius.
So Doctor Strange is going to be the new Tony Stark then for Spider-Man, for Peter Parker.
Kind of, I guess, like the next mentor figure that he wants to look up to. I guess we'll see if it even goes that route. I'm just kind of taking it where he's just looking for help in his problem, and Doctor Strange is the one person who could probably help him with what he wants to do. But maybe it will establish it to a more mentor type thing. But I think it would be cool. We'll see how this ends. But one of the other Spider-Man maybe becoming showing that. And it also depends how much they're going to be in it too, because I kind of figuring, at least going into, I'm just expecting them to show up in the final battle and then have a goodbye at the end, and that's it. I don't expect them to show up kind of midway and they're in it for like the whole second half. I just think it's going to be a final act type thing. But if there's a way where they can make it so maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has that little mentor type relationship with Tom Holland's Spider-Man for a little bit, then it comes across natural, I think that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I don't mean to rain on the parade, but I did hear one negative review of the new trailer from the Spider-Man movie. That is my nephew Ezra. He did not like it. Do you know why, Tim? Do you know
why is that?
Is he only likes Miles Morales Spider-Man. And there wasn't any Miles Morales Spider-Man in this trailer, so he is not interested at all.
Wow. So, hey, it's the multiverse now, so tell them don't give up hope. That could be maybe one of the surprises they're saving for an end credit scene or something like that. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But right now, no, negative review from my nephew.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Try to tell your nephew to still give it a chance.
Really likes Into the Spider-Verse though.
Oh yeah,
really likes it.
I can't. If you say he's a Miles Morales fan, how can he not like that? I mean, honestly, I'm sorry.
He got really excited because I guess he saw the trailer for the Miles Morales game that came out when the PS5 came out, and he didn't realize it wasn't a movie. It was a video game.
Show you how good the game looks.
Yeah, he got excited and then he got mad. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, honestly, I don't think we'd be getting this. No, well, we'd still be getting a third Spider-Man movie, but doing the whole multiverse thing, I think Into the Spider-Verse played a big role in that, as far as how successful it was and how much pretty much everyone who saw it loved it, and just how well the multiverse can work in a movie. I think that really helped in doing it for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I mean, it's pretty much the same exact thing, right? Except they're bringing back the Spider-Man, the previous Spider-Man. So one negative review, Tim.
Disappointing.
Sorry, I don't mean to rain on your parade there, Tim, but one negative review.
Well, just tell your nephew he's wrong and to move on. No,
it's weird because they have on Disney Plus they have this Spider-Man. I don't know what you call it, mini TV show. That's made specifically for kids, right? Does not like it at all. And you want to know why, Tim?
Can I take a guess?
Because it's Peter Parker.
No Miles Morales, right?
No Miles Morales. Yeah.
Miles
I
is
mean,
showing up in
it's
most
like,
animated series now too, though. I've noticed in some of
yeah,
the more recent ones.
yeah. It's like, I mean, come on, it's made for you. It's made specifically for you.
Hey,
No,
if you're attached
there's
to a
no love
specific
that.
character, I get it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just good he's not like attached to like that Porky Pig Spider-Man or
Yeah.
the
Peter
that,
Porker.
yeah, Peter Parker or that black and white Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
that Nicolas
Noir.
Cage one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man Noir. Yeah,
But I would just
but
tell him to hold
anyway,
tight because I think we're going to be getting Miles Morales in live action sooner rather than later.
yeah, they got to do it already.
Yeah.
They got to do it. I mean, especially with this multiverse that they're introducing into the Spider-Man movies. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to rain on your parade, Tim.
All my excitement is down the drain now. I don't even know if I'm going to go
Yeah,
opening night.
yeah, yeah. You know what? You definitely have to either make a YouTube video or a Twitter thread about how much you don't like it anymore.
Dane's nephew ruined my excitement for Spider-Man No Way
Yeah.
Home. So yeah, it's going to be an event when that comes out on December 17th, and I can't wait. But
Oh wait, Tim. Sorry, I have one more thing about my nephew. So my nephew's name is actually David,
uh,
right? But I specifically call him his middle name, Ezra.
well, it's so much more better and
Um,
unique than David. So
yeah.
David's so common.
There's a specific reason though, Tim.
Is it because of Star Wars
And
Rebels?
yeah, yeah,
I would hope so.
yeah. That's exactly why.
Does he watch Star Wars Rebels, or has he watched it?
No, we're holding off. Or my sister and I are holding off on the Star Wars thing
Oh,
for a
okay.
more kid-friendly
How old is your nephew?
thing. 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Might be a
mean,
little too young for
I
that.
was first introduced to Star Wars at 3 years old, so and look how I turned
Yeah.
out. So I like to
No,
say you're never too
definitely
young for
not.
Star Wars.
Definitely not. Then.
You don't want to become a Star Wars nut like me, so
Yeah.
I guess I can understand that.
No, no. A little too young for that. That's Star Wars Rebels because it gets a little dark.
Yeah,
Um. So, yeah. But anyway,
but
sorry.
I expect you to take the lead on that, Dane, when he becomes of age to introduce him to Star Wars. That's going to be your responsibility as his uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely will. Uh. There's definitely some, or you know what? Maybe the droid episodes uh from Clone Wars.
Those are definitely
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Yeah. There isn't too much dark violence in it, right?
No, one of them there might be, but
Yeah.
there's one that comes to mind. But there's some characters that die in one, so one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're not talking about like, I don't know, war violence and like PTSD that these clones are getting.
Yeah, some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we a little longer on this episode to get to our Lord of the Rings minute by minute commentary, but I think it's time to get into it. And we're going to be going from minute 18 to 19 with the Fellowship of the Ring. And before I start, I got to say, Dane, I finally got my 4K box set of all 6 Middle Earth movies, the Hobbit trilogy
And
and the Fellowship of the Ring. I just watched the first Hobbit movie last night, An Unexpected Journey. Man, it looked gorgeous. It looked really great. So I cannot wait to get to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think it's going to look incredible. And I'm just excited to revisit this universe again, fully going from the beginning to the end with The Hobbit to Return of the King. And I know I'm cheating, Dane, when I get to Fellowship of the Ring, but I don't want to wait 10 years to watch the movie again before finishing our minute by minute commentary. So you can understand if I watch the full movie again before we finish our minute by minute commentary, right?
no, this commentary is ruined, Tim. You've ruined it for all of us. Now, of course, then you got to watch all of the movies in your new 4K format. Um, Do people still complain about the high frame rate thing for the Hobbit movies?
Yeah, but I think it's like that. What was it? 60 frames per second. I don't think it's like that on the. It wasn't like that on the 4K.
Oh, I see. I see.
But man, it looked great. I was actually blown away with how great it looks. It just made me more excited to
Yeah.
see all the rest of the movie. So it was worth the wait.
No,
But
because sometimes like when these high res movies come out, some of the, I mean, especially like these special effects CGI laden movies, you
yeah,
can tell like, oh, that doesn't look so great.
yeah, there's a scene.
So did you run into that? No.
Yeah, there were some scenes where the effects stood out. I'm not gonna lie. There were some where you could
Oh,
tell definitely blue screen there or a
okay.
CG creature there, but it didn't ruin
Yeah,
the movie for me or take away from my enjoyment of it.
yeah. I get
But since 4K is not a dead format, we're not. That's not how we're going to be doing this minute by minute commentary. So,
it.
um, as always, you got to grab your VHS copy, your DVD copy, your Laserdisc copy, your HD DVD copy, your UMD copy, your VCD copy, your Netflix physical media subscription copy, your what was the other one? Oh, your Blockbuster membership card to go rent it, to go rent your DVD and VHS versions, your DVHS copy, and of course, the way I should be watching the whole Middle Earth trilogy. And I probably wasted money on this box set because it's not going to be as good as your VHS converted to DVD copy through a PC. I mean, I know I'm watching it wrong, but that's all I have right now. So all I have is the 4K. Poor me, right?
Oh, poor you.
Yeah. One of these
Uh,
days, I'll save up enough to get that converted version and the program needed to convert it.
did you say Laserdisc, Tim?
I did say Laserdisc, yes.
Okay. Could you rent Laserdisc from Blockbuster?
Could you?
I don't know. I
Yeah, I don't
don't.
know. I don't remember seeing big Laserdisc cases out there.
Yeah.
Maybe they just had their own little section. I just never noticed it, but I don't know. We'll have to ask that one remaining Blockbuster, see if that was ever the case. But
And that
anyway,
went away fast, right?
yeah,
Laserdisc.
fast enough to where I never had one.
Yeah. Sort of like the Dreamcast of
It's a
Laserdisc.
Dreamcast of
You
media
know,
player.
media players, formats, whatever. Yeah.
I did have a Dreamcast though, so I got that when it was announced it got discontinued, and they like slashed the price with like only $100 or something like that. I
I did
figured
the
might as well
same
get one.
exact thing, Tim.
Yep,
I did the
like
same
why not?
exact thing, except I got it used from
Ooh, so
GameStop.
even cheaper.
Yeah. I can't even remember how much it cost. I remember trading in I want to say my GameCube for the Dreamcast. I can't remember.
That was a mistake. I think I can't even get GameCube.
Yeah, yeah, because the GameCube definitely had a slightly longer life than the Dreamcast.
It lasted more than 2 years. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that was Sega's last system, right?
Yep. Mhm.
Hmm.
It was a good system.
Wow,
I got use out of it when I got it, playing some games on there. So it wasn't like I got it and it just sat there. I used it a fairly good amount of it.
I can't remember a single game I played on it.
Apparently, maybe you did not.
Maybe the Resident Evil,
Okay.
one of the Resident Evil games. I think. Yeah, I played on it.
Oh, I played the
Um,
two Sonic Adventure games. Marvel's Capcom 2 was a big one on there. That's why I first played Dead or Alive 2 for the first time on that system. So
oh right, Dead or Alive. Um, I don't think I ever bought a game for that. I think I only rented games
okay.
from Blockbuster. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's enough of dead
Unfortunately,
video
you
game
can't
system.
watch Lord of the Rings on the Dreamcast.
You can't. Or GameCube.
No. But if you are ready, I am at the
Oh,
18-minute mark.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just
Did-
have to ask you this before we get started with our minute by minute commentary, our much delayed minute by minute commentary.
Yeah.
So the GameCube, right? That had the regular AV cable, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because the PlayStation 2 and the first Xbox did, right?
Yeah. I always
Yeah.
use as video and component for those systems.
I see.
The days before, it was just a
Yeah.
simple HDMI cable.
And Wi-Fi. You don't
Yeah,
have to buy a separate
that's right.
separate attachment.
Your network adapter that you connect to the back of your system.
That that also is sort of like the PS5 now. It just completely sold out, and you can never find it.
Yeah, I remember that. The PlayStation one. Every time I had a PlayStation 2, that network adapter, it sold out pretty
Yeah,
quickly, and I had it at GameStop.
yeah. I could never find it until I did find it once at I want to say Best Buy. No, sorry, Tim. You remember the you remember the fine people over at Circuit City?
I do, yes.
I found it at Circuit City.
Did you get
Uh,
it?
yeah, yeah, I bought it. Yeah. Um, it's just to play the game EverQuest because
That was the game.
yeah, a lot of my friends had EverQuest and were playing that, so I wanted to play with them. Played it a couple times, never touched it again.
I just got it for Final Fantasy 11, and I told you the story about that. How that was not a fun
Yeah,
time. So, but that's pretty much all I used the PlayStation 2 network adapter for.
yeah. I mean, I guess it was a good thing, as in it was a step forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, you had to make that jump to online. You have to have those growing pains, I should say,
Yeah,
before we get to where we're at now.
yeah. Especially when the 360 came out. I remember that's why I bought the 360.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
that was the best online services at the time. I mean,
yeah, because
PlayStation
of the
3 wasn't even
online
close to
service.
that. How good Xbox
Yeah,
360 was.
yeah. That's why I committed a cardinal sin, Tim, and bought an Xbox
That's
before
not
I
a
bought a
cardinal
PlayStation
sin.
3.
That's spine smartly, if you ask me.
Well, why did you buy a PS5, Tim? I don't know, Tim. Are you betraying your own buying habits,
No,
your own
I
loyalties?
told you the reason for that one. It was because of the games. PlayStation 5 was having more exclusive games first before Xbox Series S, so that's why I got the PS5. Because of Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart, or Rift Apart, I should say.
I don't
And it
know.
was worth it because those games are awesome.
I think you're betraying yourself at the core.
It doesn't matter now since I have both anyway. So it didn't wait too long to get the Series X.
Yeah, I want to get the Series X because of Forza.
Yeah, I heard that looks amazing. I should download it because it's on Game Pass, and I should just
Oh,
download it to see how great it looks. I heard it looks amazing.
yeah. Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah,
Is
pretty
they're
much all
putting like all of the Xbox? Yeah.
first party games, they all go on or Game Pass day the first day it launches, which is awesome.
So the new Hero game is on
Yeah.
there already.
Well, when
Uh,
it comes out December 8th, I think.
oh, it hasn't come out yet.
No, yeah, the beta
Oh,
for the multiplayer is out, but
beta. I see. So what's the new feature for the multiplayer?
honestly, Dane, I haven't been keeping up with Halo Infinite too much. I know everyone's saying the
Uh,
multiplayer is great, but I haven't really dived into it or know why it's so great. I'll find out when the actual game comes out, but I mainly play Halo for the campaign. Most
yeah, I
shooters for the
see.
campaign, so.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But I'll give it a shot when it comes out because everyone says it's good. But I
Yeah,
never last on multiplayer shooters too long, so unless it's
yeah.
co-op.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really gotten into, or I didn't really get into Battlefront 2,
Hmm.
is because yeah, I don't know if I just don't have the Twitch skills, to play those FPS or those sort of like multiplayer Call of Duty esque shooters.
Yeah, I hear you because Battlefront wasn't too bad. I didn't do horrible on it, but most of the other shooters I do terrible on, so it's not
Yeah.
as fun. But even when I don't do too good on Battlefront 2, when I was never high ranking on there, it's still fun to play because it's Star Wars. So I usually had a good time, even if I didn't have a high kill count.
You're always at the bottom of that ranking after.
I would say more middle, not necessarily at the bottom.
But Battlefront 2 had co-op, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, Tim? Let's play it. Let's play the co-op on PS5.
It should be
Let's do it, Tim.
cross-platform. That's what it needs to be.
Oh, yeah. That's an easy thing, right?
Yeah. Most new games are doing that now. So
Wow, even the Call of Duty, that new Call of Duty.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. It's a feature that should have been established a long time ago, if you ask me.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, back to our minute-by-minute commentary for the Fellowship of the Ring.
Is that what we're doing? I totally forgot.
Yeah. I know. So if you have it set up, I'll give the countdown. In 3, 2, 1, play. I don't think Bilbo has any old consoles in his Hobbit house right here.
Oh, probably. He looks like a pack rat.
Watching The
Probably has
Hobbit
a
last
Super
night, I
NES
did
back
appreciate how. I'm sorry, we're talking at the same time there.
Oh,
I was
no,
gonna
go
say I
ahead.
do appreciate how The Hobbit started. This literally it takes place minutes before this happens, where Gandalf visits Bilbo. We see him at his
Yeah.
table, making the sign for no admittance for except on party business, and him about to write his book. So were you gonna say something, Dane? I'm sorry.
No, I just said he probably has a Super NES somewhere back there.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
gotta look real close.
I love the idea of Bilbo playing some video game consoles, especially Super Nintendo. My favorite video game console ever.
Sega Genesis.
And it's something he has to hide from the Saxville Bagginses so that they don't take. Forget the ring. Leave Frodo the Super NES and make sure he takes that.
He ain't going on any adventure if he finds that Super NES.
That's right. Yeah, if he had one, he would have gone with the dwarves to Erebor to try to reclaim it from Smog. No, not if he had a Super Nintendo. All right, so that's our minute-by-minute commentary for that one. And where else are you going to hear in the Lord of the Rings discussion about Bilbo having a Super Nintendo? I don't think anywhere else but here. So that's what you can look forward to in our minute-by-minute commentaries. And we got a long ways to go. So who knows what other crazy stuff's going to come up in certain scenes throughout the course of the entire movie of the Fellowship of the Ring. Which is, can't believe we're going to say a month away from its 20th anniversary, which is surreal, and expect an episode from us about that when we get closer. But something else that celebrated its 20th anniversary this past week is the Justice League animated series, the classic Justice League animated series. And that's what's going to be our feature topic for this episode. It's kind of a quick retrospective of the series, how it was when it first aired, some of my favorite episodes, all that stuff. And to be honest, I kind of forgot that this was the week. I knew it premiered in November, but I forgot it was just this week. And when it happened, or I was reminded on Twitter, seeing the anniversary, I was like, oh crap, this week is the 20th anniversary of Justice League. It was like, can't believe it's that old, much like a lot of stuff. We were talking about the GameCube earlier, Dane. That's 20 years old this week too. It was like the day after Justice League premiered, the GameCube came out. And I remember those 2 days pretty well, actually. It was a fun weekend because Justice League, the 3-part premiere, Secret Origin, premiered on a Saturday night, and the GameCube came out on a Sunday, which sounded like a weird day for a console to launch, a Sunday, but had it pre-ordered. I remember waiting in line. Even though I had it pre-ordered, there was a long line at Toys R Us to get it, so it kind of took a while to get it. But when I got it, hooked it up, played Rogue Squadron first. But it was just a good weekend to have a new the first Justice League, or I should say, full serious take on the Justice League animated series, not counting Super Friends. But it was just a fun weekend having two big things I was looking forward to that year. And this was something I was looking forward to where coming off the heels of Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Batman Beyond, and knowing that the same creative team was Bruce Timm, uh, Paul Dini, not so much being involved in Justice League. He wrote an episode here or there, but other members like James Tucker being involved with Justice League. Just a great creative team from the DC animated universe being brought back for Justice League. How can I not be excited for it? And I remember when it premiered, it was something where I really enjoyed, but speaking in the first season in general, and kind of this retrospective is going to focus on the first two seasons of Justice League before it became Justice Unlimited. And to be honest, I look at Justice League and Justice League Unlimited as one whole series. I know technically they're separate, but for this one, since it is the 20th anniversary of the Justice League series, mainly going to focus on those first two seasons on this one. And that first season, like I said, I really enjoyed the premiere episode, Secret Origins, but it didn't have like that blown away factor to it that I was hoping for. But it was still a really enjoyable premiere. It's a great introduction to the new characters like Jon Stewart, Hawkgirl, and Wonder Woman for the first time in a long time, seeing her debut, or not debut, but seeing her back in animation, because I believe there were some rights issues where they couldn't use her as Superman, the animated series, which I know they wanted to, but they couldn't. And even in Batman Beyond, they had to put Big Barda in there instead of Wonder Woman in the future, or in the episodes where the Justice League in Batman Beyond's time period made their appearance. But it was great to see her, and then obviously the returning characters of Batman, Superman, and then Flash. But a different Flash, because no, actually, I can't remember if the Superman the Animated Series one, if they established if it was Barry Allen or Wally West. I'm pretty sure it was Wally West, so it is still the same Flash. But obviously, we had a new Green Lantern with Jon Stewart, as we saw Kyle Rayner in the Superman show. And then Martian Manhunter made his debut here. So just all that stuff being a great introduction to this team of the Justice League. But the first season, I remember, it did have its bumps in the road. It wasn't like a great first season. It was a really good first season, but it just wasn't great. There was definitely some standout episodes, but the majority or a good portion of season one was just good to okay episodes with some great ones here and there. I remember the ones that stood out to me as far as where I thought, okay, this is where the series is really kicking into gear. The one Enemy Below, which had Aquaman, and then the episode Paradise Lost that dealt with Wonder Woman going back to Themyscira, dealing with kind of the underworld with Hades. But then you had just had some okay ones in there, like in Blackest Night, which looking back on it, it's been one should really been a great one, being a big Green Lantern fan that I am, and they're really dealing with the Green Lantern Corps in this one. Just, I don't know, felt it didn't go into it as much as I wanted to, mainly just Jon Stewart being on trial. They had a few Green Lantern Corps members make an appearance, and they dealt with the Manhunters, which was cool. But season 2 episode Hearts and Minds, they really went into the Green Lantern Corps mythos there, which I really liked. So I just had to wait another season for that. But then the episode War World wasn't really that great. And then the episode Legends, I like what they were trying to do there, kind of pay homage to the real like Golden and Silver Age comics. And the episode was even dedicated to Gardner Fox. But just the way they went about it, just like I said, it was good, but not great. That's a good portion of what season 1 was. But there was standouts. Like I said, The Enemy Below was great, Paradise Lost, and then Injustice for All, which introduced the Injustice Gang. And I remember that being the one I couldn't wait to see, because I saw promos for that, or just even images of the Justice League going up against the Injustice League, which made the roster up of each character's kind of arch enemy, which was going to make for a great episode, and it was. But another thing that I thought hurt season 1 was just the weird scheduling that it had too, where, because the first 2 seasons of Justice League, they were hour-long episodes, but broken into part 1 and part 2. And you had to wait a week to see it for season 1, where part 1 of The Enemy Below would air, because I think it aired on a Monday, and then it was weird. If I remember right, I thought the first part would air on a weekend, then part 2 would air on a Monday the following week. It was just a weird schedule, and it just wasn't a good way to have a series that every episode is like a part 1 and a part 2, and you had to wait. And I guess they were trying to drag it out. But even then, it took forever for the first season to air. It took a full-blown year I remember, because there'd be big gaps where you had to wait for new episodes, and they were airing out of order. Because I remember Injustice for All, that was supposed to be like the fourth episode, but it didn't air till almost like a year later, like in September of 2002. I remember that because I remember seeing that episode and being close to the release of the first Kingdom Hearts game. I kind of linked those two together. But yeah, just the scheduling for season one was really uh, not paced well. And then you had some other complaints that I kind of agreed with at the time with how they were handling Superman. I know a lot of people had to get used to George Newbern as the new voice for Superman, which I'm not going to lie, the first episode it did feel a little off when you compare it, when you're just so used to Tim Daly's Superman. But looking back on it now, because I think George Newbern does a great job as Superman. I love his take. It just seems natural now going back to the first episode, Secret Origin, because I watched it to celebrate the 20th anniversary on the exact day. And it doesn't even skip a beat. It just sounds like George Newbern's Superman now. But at the time, it was a little jarring at first. And then just the design of Superman, where he has like those cheekbone lines on his face that made him look older, which didn't look right to me. And then the fact that Superman was pretty much a punching bag for a lot of season one, and it just like Superman just felt like he didn't get his due in this first season. But thankfully, that was rectified in season two, and just season two in general. I mean, that is an amazing season. That's almost a perfect season in my book. They took kind of some of the criticisms about season one and they just fixed all of it. Was it stories that they were giving each character their due? The scheduling was a lot better. I remember both episodes would air on the same night. I believe season two aired on Saturday night, and you got to see the full hour, which made things a lot better. And yeah, so even though season one kind of had its ups and downs, and I would say it was a good season, not great. Season two, it just took it to a whole nother level, and that's where I really think Justice League became the iconic series that it is now, and just paved the way for even more great stories to set up in Justice League Unlimited. But season two was just such a high point in just the DC animated universe in general. I really don't think there's a bad episode at all in season two. Maybe the only one is the one Eclipse with Eclipso, but even that one is still enjoyable. There's still great stuff in that one with Flash. But it kicked off in a bang where you got the episode Twilight that dealt with the return of Darkseid. And that's where it fully, I think, embraced its connectivity and the continuity of the DC shows before it, like Superman the Animated Series, because they referenced specifically the finale of that show in the episode Twilight when you're dealing with Darkseid. But even stuff with not so much Batman the Animated Series just yet, but you knew that this series is connecting everything. And you didn't really know for sure in season one if that was the case, if this was fully continuing on what was started in Batman the Animated Series. But I think season two, it really kind of confirmed that, yeah, all of these shows are taking place in the same universe and they're all in continuity. And at the time, continuity wasn't a big thing. And definitely not movies like we're seeing now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and definitely not in children's animated shows, because they were kind of just left to be their own thing. But I think Justice League took a big step in doing that as one of the early shows to do something like that, and having everything that came before it fit into this glorious continuity that we're now having, and just really bringing the full DC universe into animation. It was just great. I mean, Twilight, Tabula Rasa, that introduced Amazo. That was a great episode. Only a Dream with Dr. Destiny, the way it had the Justice League enter the dream world, and Batman just has so many great moments of that, as far as being the one who doesn't fall asleep, trying to stay up all night, and saving the Justice League. So many great episodes. Another Secret Society that dealt with Grodd creating the Secret Society is great. Hereafter, that dealt with the potential or looks to be death of Superman and how all that plays out, how the world reacts to Superman dying. Wild Cards, having Joker be the main villains, introducing the Flesh Gang, not necessarily introducing them to us because we saw them first in Batman Beyond, but introducing them first here in the timeline of the DC animated universe with this episode. And then you get the great finale, Starcross, which is as good as any other DC animated movie. It was a 3-part episode that dealt with the Thanagarian invasion, dealt with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern's romance at the time, And one of the best moments, the Justice League or Batman knowing everyone's identity and then revealing their identities to everybody and then making their base of operations at the Batcave. So much great stuff. And a great way to kick off, or to end, I should say, season 2 and this incarnation of the Justice League before going into Justice League Unlimited. But the best episode, my favorite one of the entire series, is A Better World. This is just DC's storytelling at its finest, where you dealt with the Justice Lords. And it's a story we've seen done time and time again now, especially with Injustice being as popular as it is. But the Justice League kind of taking control of the governments of the world and establishing order and their rule over the earth, being the powerful beings that they are. And then our Justice League going into their universe and kind of confronting that. Or I should say this Justice League's universe, or the Justice Lords coming to our universe and then taking the Justice League out so they can establish their rule and have a better world like there is. But man, the Batman stuff we get in this episode is just some of the best, where Batman just has a battle of ideals with himself and that fight they have in the Batcave, and how I just love how both of them kind of each win their argument with each other. How the Justice Lord Batman convinces our Batman how he created a world where no 10-year-old will ever have to lose their parents to some punk with a gun. And that just hits Batman straight to the core and makes him agree with the Justice Lord Batman. But then our Batman convinces the Justice Lord how their parents would not be proud of this world that their son helped create and to live in. And how that convinces that Batman. So how both of them aren't wrong and they both win their arguments is just done really, really well. I just love it so much. So that episode stands above the rest in what is an amazing season of the Justice League. Like I said, not a bad episode. I believe this was a season 2 from, if you're talking about technical standpoint, it aired in widescreen, which I remember being a big deal at the time, where you get an animated series that's airing in widescreen. And it looked great too. And it looks great when you watch on the Blu-ray, or if you're streaming on HBO Max now, it looks really good. So yeah, Justice League season 2 is some of the best DC stories you're ever going to see. It's just really amazing. But again, it all started and kicked off 20 years ago with season 1. And how could I be remiss if I didn't mention the voice actors more fully? I obviously talked about George Newbern, who took the role of Superman and made it his own. But then, of course, Kevin Conroy coming back as Batman. You can't have that. A Justice League series set in the DC animated universe and not have Kevin Conroy as Batman. And some of his best performances episodes are in Justice League. Like I said, A Better World being a prime example of that. But then we're introduced to kind of some new namestays. Susan Eisenberg as Wonder Woman, who still voices her to this day in different projects. Phil Lamar as John Stewart. And he does pretty much, and that's another thing about Justice League, introducing John Stewart to a mainstream audience. And for a lot of people, kind of becoming their favorite and first introduction to Green Lantern, and their Green Lantern that was introduced, and they think it's John Stewart. And it was just a great introduction for that character, who I don't think would have the popularity that he does now without Justice League. So a great introduction there. Michael Rosenbaum as Flash. And I watched Justice League before I saw Smallville. And I remember watching Smallville and seeing Lex Luthor thinking, man, his voice sounds familiar. You know what? I think it's the Flash from Justice League. And sure enough, there it is. And much as I love him as Lex, his greatest performance will be as Wally West and the Flash. So great casting there. Carl Lumbly as Martian Manhunter was fantastic. And then Maria Barrera as Hawkgirl. Everyone knocked it out of the park as their characters as the main team of Justice League. And then when you got the villains bringing back classics like Lex Luthor, Clancy Brown, the episodes we got with Joker, Mark Hamill returning, with this great blend of classic performances that we've heard of these characters from way back to Batman the Animated Series and Superman, mixing it in with the new characters and their voice actors, becoming iconic roles for themselves. So yeah, all that began 20 years ago with Justice League, the 3-episode premiere, Secret Origin. So we know, obviously, the Justice League has made their appearance in live action in 2 different versions. No need to get into that, though, but they are on the big screen now. But this is where we really got to see how a Justice League done outside the comics, how well it can work. And in my opinion, is still the best translation of the Justice League that we get to see on screen, is still in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. So Couldn't let a big milestone like its 20th anniversary go by without talking about it, knowing and feeling just what a great iconic series it is, and one that I think will forever stand the test of time. So happy 20th anniversary to Justice League.
Does Michael Rosenbaum still have that bald head, or does he grow his hair out now?
No, he grew his hair out. I think that was the first thing he was happy to do when he left Smallville, grow his hair out now.
Oh, that's good.
So I think when he came back for the Smallville finale, I'm not sure if he shaved his head or if he wore a cap, like a ball cap or something. I have a feeling he didn't want to shave it, so he might have just done a
Yeah.
ball cap.
I see.
How about you, Dane? Do you have any memories of seeing Justice League for the first time?
Not really. I don't remember ever watching it. Not yeah. I have zero memory of watching Justice League.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if you had Cartoon Network at that time when it was first airing, but the scheduling they had didn't make it easy to kind of really get into it. Because, like I said, there'd be long gaps where you wouldn't be able to see any new episodes. But yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, definitely check it out. And if somebody just getting into the DC universe or just superheroes or comic book characters in general, Justice League is one of the best of the best. So definitely check it out. Don't let the 20-year-old age it has on it now turn you off or think that it won't be relevant or may not be as good as something modern right now. It definitely is. So yeah, Justice League, a timeless classic, and it forever will be. But with that, I guess we can get into one bit of news that came out this last week that I'm pretty excited about. It's a new game that is going to feature members of the characters of the Justice League, a fighting game. But no, it's not Injustice. It is a new platform fighter a la Super Smash Brothers. Might as well just call it a Super Smash Brothers clone. But it's being developed with Warner Brothers IP characters, and it's called MultiVersus. And by the way, I love the name multiverses as in fighting each other. I mean, it's just perfect. And I like the logo of it's just a cloud of smoke and you see hands as they're all fighting each other. That classic Looney Tunes style smoke fighting that you see in some slapstick comedy stuff. So yeah, this was rumored a couple of weeks ago and now was officially announced. It's going to be a free to play game on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. And it's just going to take the different Warner Brothers characters and put them in a Smash Brothers style fighting game. And it looks pretty fun because nothing can even come close to touch Smash Brothers. Is how fun it is and just how iconic that and just how they perfected that style of gameplay. And as far as I'm concerned, I think invented it because I didn't remember any other fighting game style like that before Super Smash Brothers. But there have been several clones, none of them nearly as good. There was a Ninja Turtle one that I wish they do again because they just based it off the 2007 movie, and the character selection was very limited, which is disappointing because the TMNT franchise, as you know, Dane, has such a variety of characters to choose from. It would be perfect for a fighting game in that style, but that one didn't turn out as well as it could have been. And then you just had the most recent Nickelodeon All-Stars fighting game, which I played. It's fun. It's definitely not near the level of Smash Brothers, and it's definitely made on the cheap, where there's no voice acting to any of the characters, and it takes away the charm that you would expect to have for a game like that. But this one, MultiVersus, looks like it's going to have that. The character roster, I mean, you got obviously DC characters, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Harley. Right now, they're the only ones announced, but they said there's going to be DLC, so expect more. Then you throw in other franchises like the Looney Tunes. You see Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Arya from Game of Thrones is going to be in it. Shaggy.
How's that gonna work? How's that gonna work?
Yeah, it's
Is she
very
gonna
styled.
fight with Needle?
Yeah, she has Needle. It is there. It's very stylized, so it's definitely more of like a cartoonish style look for her to blend in with the rest of the characters. But it works.
See. I see that Tom and Jerry have a voice actor.
Yeah, that's gonna be it first.
What voice? I mean, do they have voices now?
I don't think so. Maybe this is the first for the characters. I'm not sure if they talk in any of the movies because I definitely didn't see the most recent movie. I know there's one back from the late 80s, early 90s, which I saw, but I don't remember. So I don't know if they talked in that.
Maybe the new movie, they have voices.
Maybe. Wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Arya. Arya.
she was probably going to be one who would be on my team. That's another thing about the game. They're trying to make it different. They're trying to really focus on co-op style gameplay where it kind of depends on what two characters you pick to kind of help each other out and the different move styles that they have. I think that's how the developers want to make this different from Smash Brothers, have a co-op be more of a focus on the gameplay style. So we'll see how that works. I think it could be fun. If incorporated and see what characters' moves complement each other more.
I'm surprised they don't have Scooby Doo. It
I know.
looks like they have Shaggy.
Shaggy's in it. You think Scooby Doo wouldn't be too far behind?
Yeah.
Or at least be like, kind of, you know how Smash Brothers kind of has two characters, like the Ice Climbers or Duck Hunt as the dog and the duck. I would think
Oh
it'd be like
yeah.
Shaggy and Scooby, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could have Scooby Doo versus Ghost from
Yeah.
from
Or some type of costume villain that you take their mask off.
yeah. Or you could like you could have Scooby Doo versus Ace the Bat Dog.
There you go. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, the voice acting that's going to have Kevin Conroy's back as Batman, which is awesome. George Newbern, just talking about him in Justice League, still, it's how good his Superman performance is. He's still continuing to voice him in different projects as well. So he'll be doing Superman, and Maisie Williams will be voicing Arya. So I'm glad they're just getting all the main actors that we're familiar with to voice these characters in the game. And they said DLC is coming, so now the fun part's going to be to see what other characters they're going to bring in from the Warner Brothers IP. I think I'll be shocked if he's not in it, and I think something leaked a few weeks ago about the potential roster where Gandalf will be representing the Lord of the Rings franchise, so he would be fun to play. Go on, Gandalf versus Batman or Gandalf versus Superman or teaming up together. It's going to be awesome.
I wonder what the you know how like you can fight in Batman's Batcave or whatever. I wonder what the Game of Thrones one is going to be.
I know.
It's like they're going to be the Iron Throne realm or whatever. Or
I would
the
like
Red
to be in
Wedding.
Winterfell.
Scene.
If Arya is going to be the only character, I'd like it to be in Winterfell.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah. Or at the Wall.
The Wall would be cool too.
Yeah.
And have like a crumbling down by the Ice Walker dragon.
Yeah.
The White Walker. I said Ice Walker. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's coming out in 2022. No official release date yet, but like I said, it's going to be free to play. But of course, there will be paid content to get. I'm sure most of the new characters and DLC will be what you'd have to pay for. But hey, if it's fun and you don't have to like just pay $50 or $60 to buy the game, but just kind of add on to what you want, I would be down for that. Just get the characters you want to play as and just go from there. So I think that's the potential to be really fun and something. I'm not going to say that rivals Smash Brothers because I don't think anything can touch Smash Brothers, but something that could just be a similar gameplay style to that with another set of its own iconic characters to choose from. So I think there's definitely a lot of potential with this one. So I can't wait for it. And since it is free to play, Dane, and it's cross-platform or cross-play, there's no excuse for us not to play this one together. So
Yeah, definitely. So you're gonna play Shaggy from Scooby Doo. I'm gonna play Tom and Jerry.
There we go. Our team is set.
Yeah.
Watch out, Batman and Superman.
And Jerry. I like how it's Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, see, that's what we're talking about. We should be Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could be I don't know, Steven Universe. And I'll be Finn the Human from Adventure Time.
Yeah, 2 shows I haven't watched, so I don't know how much I'll be playing those characters. All right, so that's the one bit of news I wanted to talk about on this one. And with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So as always, Dane, I'll throw it to you for the outro.
All right, just go over to BatmanUniverse.net, Facebook.com/BatmanUniverse. The Twitter handle is @BatmanUniverse. The show's Twitter handle is at Bat-Fans Podcast. I almost said at TimG311. Tim's Twitter handle is at TimG311.
There you go.
My Twitter handle is at DaneSensBanana. You can email the show at batfanswithoutfans@gmail.com. You can rate and review us on iTunes. And that's it, right? Yeah.
Thank you, God. Well,
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see. Like we said in every single episode.
we love each and every one of you with all of our Shaggy and Scooby and Tom and Jerry hearts, because that's who me and Dane are going to play as in MultiVersus.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you next time, everybody.